Most people wake up every morning already losing, and they don't even realize it. Before their feet touch the floor, before they take a deep breath, before the day even begins, their mind is already under attack, not by other people, not by circumstances, but by habits, by doubt, by yesterday's worries sneaking into today's potential. And here's the truth that might make you uncomfortable. The day doesn't defeat you, your unprepared mind does. Think about it. The world doesn't wait for you to be ready. Life doesn't care how motivated you feel when you wake up. Problems don't check your emotional state before showing up. Every morning, life shows up fully armed. The question is, do you? Or do you roll out of bed and hand your mind over to distractions, negativity, and fear before you've even taken control? What if I told you that the first few minutes after you wake up are silently deciding the direction of your entire life? That the way you think in the morning is training your mind either to lead or to follow, to rise or to repeat. Most people live the same year over and over again, just with different dates, because they never change how they start their mornings mentally. See, your mind is being built every single day, whether you work on it or not. If you don't build it, the world will. If you don't feed it strength, it will absorb weakness. If you don't speak belief into it, it will listen to fear. And once your mind is trained to think small, life starts to feel heavy, progress feels slow, and dreams start feeling unrealistic. But here's the shift. You don't need more time, more luck, or more talent. You need a stronger mind before the day begins. Because when you build your mind every morning, you stop waking up to life reacting. You wake up ready to respond. You stop surviving days and start shaping them. And once you learn this, once you truly understand the power of how you start your morning, the rest of your life can never stay the same. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear isn't about motivation. It's about mental ownership. Every single morning you wake up, a battle has already begun, and most people don't even realize they're in it. There are no warning signs, no loud alarms, no visible enemies standing at the foot of your bed. The battlefield is your mind. And before you speak a word, before you check your phone, before the world asks anything from you, forces are already competing for control over how you will think, feel, and act for the rest of the day. This is why mornings matter more than people are willing to admit. You don't wake up neutral. You wake up vulnerable. The moment your eyes open, your mind starts pulling from memory. It reminds you of unfinished business, past mistakes, current worries, and future fears. It replays conversations, reopens wounds, and reintroduces doubt. If left unchecked, your mind will default to what feels familiar, not what is useful. And for many people, what feels familiar is stress, fear, and limitation. That's how the battle begins. Not with something dramatic, but with quiet, repetitive thoughts that slowly lower your standards before the day even starts. This is why the morning is so dangerous if you're unprepared. A distracted morning creates a distracted life. A fearful morning creates reactive decisions. A lazy morning trains the mind to avoid effort. When you wake up and immediately reach for your phone, you're not just checking notifications, you're handing your mental focus to other people's priorities. You're letting news, opinions, comparisons, and negativity take the first shot. And once the first shot is fired, most people spend the rest of the day defending instead of leading. A battlefield isn't about chaos, it's about positioning. Whoever controls the high ground controls the outcome. In the morning, your thoughts are the high ground. If doubt takes that position first, confidence spends the rest of the day trying to climb uphill. If fear takes the lead, courage feels forced. If comfort wins the morning, discipline struggles all day long. This is why people say they feel tired even when they haven't done anything yet. It's not physical exhaustion, it's mental defeat before the fight even begins. Winning the morning doesn't mean feeling motivated or inspired. It means being intentional. It means recognizing that your mind needs direction before the world gives it one. Just like a soldier wouldn't walk onto a battlefield without armor, you shouldn't walk into your day without mental preparation. Yet most people do. They wake up unguarded, unplanned, and unprotected, then wonder why stress hits so hard, why distractions feel overwhelming, and why they lose focus so quickly. When you take control of your morning, you take control of your inner dialogue. You decide what gets reinforced and what gets rejected. You choose which thoughts are allowed to stay and which ones get challenged. This is where mental strength is built, not in moments of crisis, but in moments of quiet preparation. A strong mind isn't created during pressure. It's revealed there. It's built in the morning when no one is watching and nothing is forcing you to do the work. The morning battlefield isn't about winning the whole war in one day. It's about setting the tone. It's about telling your mind, I'm in charge today. Even small actions shift momentum. A few minutes of silence can calm mental noise. Speaking intentional words can replace fear with focus. Reviewing goals can remind you why effort matters. These aren't dramatic moves, but battles are often won through discipline, not drama. Every morning, you're either training your mind to react or teaching it to respond. Reaction is emotional and impulsive. Response is controlled and purposeful. Life will still throw challenges at you, but when your mind is prepared, those challenges don't feel personal. They feel manageable. You stop asking why everything is so hard and start asking how you're going to handle it. The truth is no one accidentally wins the morning. You don't drift into mental strength. You choose it. And the people who consistently move forward in life aren't the ones with fewer problems. They're the ones who refuse to enter the battlefield unarmed. They understand that the real fight isn't against the world. It's against the thoughts that try to limit them before the day even begins. So every time you wake up, remember this: the morning is not just the start of your day. It's the first fight for your future. And how you show up in that quiet moment will determine whether you spend the rest of the day defending who you are or advancing toward who you're meant to become. Every day, whether you are aware of it or not, you are feeding your mind. Just like your body responds to what you eat, your mind responds to what you consistently consume. Thoughts, words, images, conversations, music, social media, and even silence all become mental nutrition. And over time, that nutrition shapes your beliefs, your habits, your confidence, and ultimately your identity. You don't become who you want by accident. You become who your mind has been trained to accept. Most people are careful about what they eat physically, but careless about what they eat mentally. They'll read negativity before breakfast, listen to complaints on the way to work, scroll through comparison all day, and fall asleep to fear and distraction. Then they wonder why they feel anxious, unmotivated, and unsure of themselves. A mind fed on chaos will produce confusion. A mind fed on fear will produce hesitation. A mind fed on limitation will produce a limited life. Your mind does not question what you feed it. It absorbs it. It takes repetition as truth. If you constantly expose yourself to voices that say life is unfair, success is rare, and dreams are unrealistic, your mind begins to believe that struggle is normal and growth is risky. Over time, you stop aiming high not because you can't, but because your mind no longer believes it should. This is how potential slowly fades, not through failure, but through unhealthy mental diet. What you feed your mind shows up in how you talk to yourself. Inner dialogue is a direct reflection of mental consumption. If your thoughts are harsh, critical, and doubtful, it's not because you were born that way, it's because you've been trained that way. Every negative message you accept becomes a voice inside you. Every empowering message you repeat becomes a tool. The mind doesn't separate entertainment from education. Everything teaches it something. Strong people are not born with stronger minds. They build them by choosing better input. They are intentional about what they listen to, what they watch, and who they allow to speak into their lives. They understand that inspiration isn't a luxury, it's fuel. Just like a high-performance engine needs clean fuel, a high-potential life needs quality mental input. You cannot expect clarity when your mind is constantly fed confusion. Feeding your mind doesn't mean avoiding reality. It means choosing perspective. Life has challenges, but focusing only on problems trains the mind to see obstacles instead of opportunities. When you feed your mind with solutions, lessons, and growth-focused thinking, challenges become training instead of threats. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this building in me? Your habits reveal what your mind has been fed. Procrastination is often a symptom of fear-based thinking. Lack of discipline is often a result of comfort-based consumption. When your mind is fed ease, distraction, and instant gratification, effort starts to feel uncomfortable. But when your mind is fed discipline, purpose, and long-term vision, consistency becomes natural. You don't force growth, you align with it. This is why repetition matters. One motivational message won't change a life, just like one healthy meal won't transform a body. Transformation comes from consistency. Daily exposure to empowering thoughts builds mental strength over time. It rewires how you interpret failure, how you handle pressure, and how you respond to uncertainty. Eventually, you stop needing external motivation because your internal system is strong. What you feed your mind also determines what you tolerate. A mind fed on self-respect will not accept disrespect. A mind fed on purpose will not settle for distractions. A mind fed on growth will not stay comfortable in environments that limit it. This is how people outgrow situations, relationships, and old versions of themselves, not through arrogance, but through awareness. At the deepest level, identity is formed by belief, and belief is formed by input. If you want to become disciplined, feed your mind discipline. If you want to become confident, feed your mind courage. If you want to become focused, feed your mind clarity. You cannot starve your mind of positivity and expect it to produce strength. The future version of you is already being shaped by what you consume today. Every book you read, every conversation you entertain, every thought you repeat is either building you or breaking you. This is not about perfection, it's about direction. When you take responsibility for your mental diet, you take responsibility for who you are becoming. So choose wisely. Feed your mind what aligns with the life you want, not the life you're trying to escape. Because in the end, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your mental conditioning. And what you feed your mind today will decide who you become tomorrow. Mental strength is not built in moments of excitement or sudden bursts of motivation. It is built quietly, slowly, and repeatedly through consistency. Just like physical muscles grow through regular training rather than occasional effort, your mind develops resilience, focus, and confidence through what you do every single day, not what you do once in a while. Most people underestimate consistency because it looks ordinary, but ordinary actions repeated daily create extraordinary mental power. The truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes based on mood circumstances and energy levels. If you rely on motivation to strengthen your mind, you will always be at the mercy of how you feel. Consistency, on the other hand, does not require excitement. It requires commitment. It's the decision to show up even when you're tired, distracted, or unsure. And every time you show up despite resistance, your mind gets stronger. Each small, consistent action sends a powerful message to your brain. I can be trusted. That trust is the foundation of self-belief. When you repeatedly keep promises to yourself, waking up on time, focusing for a few minutes, choosing discipline over comfort, you build internal confidence. Not the loud external kind, but the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you don't quit on yourself. Over time, this becomes mental stability. You stop being shaken by small setbacks because your identity is rooted in reliability. Inconsistency weakens the mind because it creates self-doubt. When you start and stop repeatedly, your mind learns that effort is temporary and quitting is normal. Eventually, even simple tasks feel heavy because your brain associates effort with failure. Consistency breaks that pattern. It teaches your mind that progress doesn't require perfection, only persistence. Missing a day doesn't define you, refusing to return does. Mental muscles are built through repetition under resistance. The resistance may look like boredom, fear, procrastination, or distraction. Each time you push through that resistance, even slightly, you increase your mental endurance. Focus becomes easier. Discipline becomes familiar. What once felt uncomfortable starts to feel natural. This is how people develop strong habits, not by forcing them, but by normalizing them through consistency. Consistency also trains emotional control. When you do something daily regardless of how you feel, you stop letting emotions dictate your behavior. You learn that feelings are temporary, but actions are powerful. This shift is life-changing. You stop waiting to feel ready and start acting ready. And action creates clarity far more effectively than thinking ever will. The power of consistency lies in its compounding effect. A few minutes of focused thinking each day may seem insignificant, but over weeks and months, it reshapes how you process stress, make decisions, and handle pressure. Your reactions become calmer. Your thinking becomes sharper. You begin to notice that challenges don't overwhelm you as easily. That's not luck, that's mental conditioning. Strong minds are not built during crisis, they are revealed during them. The preparation happens long before the pressure arrives. When difficulty shows up, the consistent habits you've practiced automatically take over. You don't panic as easily because your mind has been trained to stay grounded. You don't give up quickly because quitting is no longer part of your routine. Consistency also builds patience. When you commit to daily effort without immediate results, your mind learns to trust the process. You stop chasing quick wins and start valuing long-term growth. This protects you from frustration and comparison. You understand that real transformation is gradual and that patience is not weakness, it's maturity. What makes consistency powerful is that it's available to everyone. You don't need special talent, perfect conditions, or massive time. You only need the willingness to repeat simple actions daily. Even on low energy days, showing up at a reduced level still counts. Consistency is flexible, not fragile. It bends without breaking. Over time, consistent effort reshapes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who does. That shift changes how you approach every area of life. Confidence increases, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. In the end, mental muscles are not built by intensity, they are built by consistency. Small, disciplined actions done daily will outwork rare moments of inspiration every time. And when consistency becomes who you are, strength is no longer something you chase. It's something you carry with you wherever you go. The world does not wait for you to be ready. It does not slow down because you're tired, uncertain, or still figuring things out. Life comes fast, loud, and demanding, and it will test you whether you feel prepared or not. Pressure, criticism, failure, rejection, and unexpected challenges are not rare events, they are guarantees. That's why your mind must be built before the world attacks it. If you wait until life hits you to get mentally strong, you're already late. Most people try to build mental strength in the middle of a crisis. They wait until something goes wrong to start thinking positively, to start believing in themselves, to start searching for peace. But that's like trying to build a shield while arrows are already flying. A weak or untrained mind reacts emotionally, panics quickly, and takes everything personally. A trained mind stays grounded, thinks clearly, and responds with control. The difference is not circumstance, it's preparation. When your mind isn't built, everything feels heavier than it should. Small problems feel overwhelming. Minor criticism feels like rejection. Delays feel like failure. That's not because you're incapable. It's because your mind hasn't been conditioned to handle resistance. Life is not attacking you because you're weak. It's revealing where strength hasn't been developed yet. The world will challenge your confidence. People will question your decisions, doubt your abilities, and sometimes project their limitations onto you. Without a strong mind, those voices become internal. You start repeating what others said. You start doubting what you once believed. But when your mind is built, outside noise stays outside. You listen, evaluate, and move forward without losing yourself. Confidence stops being fragile because it's not based on approval. A built mind understands that struggle is part of growth, not a sign to stop. It recognizes that discomfort doesn't mean danger. This perspective changes everything. Instead of avoiding challenges, you face them with clarity. Instead of fearing failure, you learn from it. The world doesn't stop throwing obstacles, but they stop controlling you. Preparation doesn't mean avoiding emotion. It means learning how to manage it. A trained mind still feels pain, disappointment, and frustration, but it doesn't live there. It processes emotions without being consumed by them. This is critical because life will give you moments that hurt deeply. Without mental strength, pain turns into bitterness. With mental strength, pain turns into wisdom. Building your mind before the attack means developing habits that anchor you when things get unstable. It means practicing focus when life is calm so you can find it when life is chaotic. It means strengthening discipline when motivation is present so you can rely on it when motivation disappears. These habits don't remove difficulty. They give you stability within it. A prepared mind also understands timing. It knows that not every setback requires a reaction and not every opportunity requires a rush. Impulsivity fades when your mind is strong. You stop making emotional decisions that create long-term consequences. You pause, assess, and move with intention. That ability alone can change the course of a life. The world will test your patience. Progress will be slower than expected. Results will take longer than planned. Without a built mind, delay feels like denial. With a built mind, delay feels like preparation. You stay consistent instead of quitting. You stay focused instead of distracted. You stay humble instead of frustrated. What breaks most people isn't one major failure. It's repeated small pressures that chip away at their confidence. Stress accumulates. Doubt compounds. And without mental resilience, people give up not because they can't continue, but because they can't carry the weight mentally. A strong mind distributes the weight differently. It doesn't carry everything emotionally. It prioritizes, releases, and refocuses. The world will never stop challenging you. That's not pessimism, it's reality. But when your mind is built, challenges stop feeling like attacks and start feeling like tests you've trained for. You stop bracing for impact and start standing your ground. Building your mind before the world attacks, it is an act of self-respect. It's deciding that your peace, focus, and identity are worth protecting. You don't wait for life to be kind. You become strong enough to face it. And when the storms come, and they will, you won't be scrambling to survive. You'll be steady, aware, and ready. Every morning is quietly shaping the direction of your life, whether you pay attention to it or not. Long-term destiny is not created in dramatic moments or sudden breakthroughs. It is built through small, repeated choices made when no one is watching. The way you train your mind in the morning becomes the blueprint for how you think, decide, and act over the years. What feels like a simple routine today becomes a defining pattern tomorrow. Most people think destiny is decided by big opportunities, luck, or major decisions. But the truth is, destiny is formed in the ordinary. It's formed in how you speak to yourself when you wake up. It's formed in whether you choose intention over impulse. It's formed in whether you start the day mentally prepared or mentally distracted. When you neglect your mornings, you don't just lose hours. You lose alignment with the future you say you want. Morning mind building creates momentum. The first thoughts of the day act like a compass, setting direction before movement begins. When your mind starts with clarity, purpose, and focus, your actions naturally follow. You make better decisions not because you try harder, but because your thinking is sharper. Over time, those better decisions compound into better outcomes. This is how small daily mental habits quietly create extraordinary long-term results. A strong morning mindset teaches your brain to prioritize growth over comfort. When you consistently invest in your mind early, you stop living reactively. You stop letting emergencies and distractions dictate your path. Instead, you move with intention. This shift may feel subtle at first, but over years, it creates a massive difference between people who drift and people who direct their lives. What you practice in the morning becomes your default under pressure. If your mornings are rushed, chaotic, and unfocused, stress becomes your natural response. But if your mornings are calm, intentional, and disciplined, resilience becomes your reflex. Destiny isn't tested when things are easy. It's revealed when things are hard. And the way you start your day trains how you show up in those defining moments. Morning mind building also shapes identity. Repeated actions form self-image. When you consistently show up for yourself mentally, you begin to see yourself as someone who is disciplined, focused, and reliable. That identity influences your goals, your standards, and your tolerance for mediocrity. You stop settling, not because you're chasing perfection, but because you respect your potential. Over time, these morning practices influence your environment. The way you think affects who you connect with, what opportunities you recognize, and what risks you're willing to take. A clear mind attracts clarity. A focused mind recognizes opportunity. A disciplined mind builds trust with others and with itself. Slowly, your external life begins to reflect your internal order. Long-term destiny is not about controlling everything. It's about preparing consistently. Life will still surprise you. Plans will still change. But a trained mind adapts instead of panicking. It stays grounded instead of overwhelmed. This adaptability becomes one of your greatest strengths over time. You don't break under pressure, you bend, learn, and grow. Morning mind building also teaches patience. When you invest daily without immediate results, your mind learns to value progress over perfection. You stop chasing shortcuts and start trusting the process. This patience protects you from impulsive decisions that derail long-term goals. You become comfortable with slow growth because you understand that lasting success takes time. Years from now, you won't remember most individual mornings, but you will live with the results of them. The confidence you carry, the discipline you rely on, the clarity you operate with, they all come from what you practiced repeatedly. Destiny is not a single moment of choice. It's a series of mornings lived with intention. When you build your mind every morning, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. One vote may not seem powerful, but over time it becomes decisive. You don't wake up one day with a great life. You build it day by day, thought by thought, habit by habit. In the end, morning mind building doesn't just improve your days, it defines your direction. It shapes your character, your decisions, and your future. And long after motivation fades, it is these quiet morning choices that will stand as the foundation of your destiny. At some point, you have to realize this isn't just about mornings. It's about ownership. Ownership of your thoughts, ownership of your direction, ownership of the life you are building, whether you're paying attention to it or not. Every morning you wake up, you are either reinforcing the person you've been or investing in the person you're becoming. There is no neutral ground. The mind is always learning, always adapting, always moving in the direction you allow. The world will never slow down for you. Distractions will always be available. Excuses will always sound reasonable. But the people who rise, the people who last, the people who leave a legacy understand one thing. They don't wait for life to shape them. They shape themselves first. They build their mind before the day begins so the day doesn't break them when it gets hard. You don't need perfect mornings. You need intentional ones. You don't need hours. You need consistency. 5 focused minutes done daily will outwork hours done occasionally. The small discipline you practice when no one is watching becomes a strength everyone notices later. That's how confidence is built. That's how clarity is maintained. That's how destiny is changed. One day the results will speak for you. You're calm under pressure. You're disciplined when others quit. You're focused in a distracted world. People will call it luck. They'll call it talent. They'll call it timing. But you'll know the truth. It was the decision you made every morning to protect your mind, train your thoughts, and show up prepared. So tomorrow morning, don't reach for your phone first. Reach for your purpose. Don't start the day reacting, start it building. Because when you build your mind every morning, you don't just win the day. You win your life.